In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the cognitive distortion of magnification and minimization, what it is, how it contributes to anxiety and depression, and what you can do to stop it. Hi everyone. Does it ever feel like you have different standards or expectations of other people than the expectations and standards that you have for yourself? If so, you might be using the cognitive distortion of magnification and minimization, which is a relatively common cognitive distortion. So today's video is a continuation of our series of videos on cognitive distortions and biases in thinking. But before we get into magnification and minimization, just a couple of disclaimers to go over. I'm a registered psychologist in the province of British Columbia, Canada, and this video is for informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute or replacement for advice from your doctor or mental health professional. Now, with those things out of the way, let's start talking about magnification and minimization. So this cognitive distortion has kind of the two components. The first is magnification. And in magnification, what tends to happen is you tend to exaggerate your mistakes or your setbacks, and you tend to magnify other people's achievements. So, for example, that person has so many followers on Twitter. They are so popular. Whereas for me, I took the wrong bus the other day. I'm such an idiot. Now, at the same time, the person also engages in minimization. And what happens with minimization is that we tend to minimize our own achievements and minimize other people's mistakes or setbacks. So something like, yeah, sure, I have a good job, but I'm totally unqualified for what I'm doing, and it's only a matter of time until they find out that I'm an imposter and they fire me. Whereas for someone else, I might think, yeah, sure, that person lost their job, but it was probably just unfortunate office politics that they got caught up in. So the result of magnification and minimization is that you always come out looking and feeling inferior to other people. But why does this happen? Now, one possibility is that we have distorted perceptions of what we're doing versus what other people are doing. I call this the Facebook or the Instagram effect, where we're all well aware of all of the problems and all of the things that are going wrong in our lives. But the only information I get from other people, or much of the only information I get from other people, is based on the highlight reel that they're posting on their social media. So they're posting all these things about successes and great places that they're going and awesome things that they're doing. And so it becomes really easy for me to assume that, wow, that person's life is going so well, they've got it all together. Whereas for me, I know about all of the problems, all of the things that are going wrong in my life, and it doesn't even feel like I can compare to them. So therefore, based on kind of this Facebook or Instagram effect, my life is full of problems and setbacks, whereas other people seem to be doing so much better in life than I am. Now, another way that magnification and minimization works is that we tend to develop different standards or different expectations for ourselves versus other people. And so what often happens is that there's a tendency to set really high standards for myself. So I'll set really high, often unrealistic standards for me, whereas I have reasonable standards for other people. So the result is that it seems like I'm going to have a whole lot more failures than others and far fewer successes. But this isn't because I'm more of a failure or that other people are more successful, but this is because I have different standards for myself, which makes it difficult for me to feel good about how I'm doing relative to the standards that I have for other people. So one way of thinking about it is to imagine a high jump contest. And in this high jump contest, one person sets the bar at 6 feet, and everybody else's bar is set at 3 feet. Now, although that first person may be able to jump higher than everybody else, they're likely going to have many fewer successes than other people because the standard is so much higher. So because their bar is so much higher, every once in a while they may clear it, but they're going to be knocking down that bar a lot. Whereas for people who are setting the bar at 3 feet, it's really easy to just keep getting over that bar, and they don't have nearly as many failures. It's not because they're better jumpers or they're better high jumpers. It's just that their bar is set so much lower. So the more I fail to achieve these high standards for myself, the worse I feel about myself, and this can fuel depression. So if I recognize that I'm engaging in this magnification and minimization, well, what can I do about it? How do I fix it? Well, the first thing is to recognize when you're actually engaging in magnification and minimization. And then once you've identified that you're doing it, focus on having the same scale for everybody, yourself included. So one thing you can do is to imagine a scenario in which you feel disappointed with a score that you got on a test. And in that scenario, imagine someone else telling you that they received the exact same mark. Would you tell them that they had completely failed, that they were a total idiot? Well, if not, then you're likely using a higher and unrealistic standard for yourself than you are for other people. Now, somewhere along the lines, we developed this sense, this perception that being harsh or more critical of ourselves was a good thing because it would motivate us to push ourselves harder or try to achieve more. However, all it really does is the opposite. And I've discussed this a lot more in a video that I've talked about with regards to coaching style, and I'll leave a link to it up above if you want to take a look at that video. But it really does dovetail nicely with this notion of magnification and minimization. So the key is to figure out a scale of what you would see as good enough for other people, and to make sure that you're using that same scale for yourself. So that's it for magnification and minimization. I hope that makes sense. I'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas about this, so please leave me some comments in the comments section down below. If you've been enjoying my videos and would like to see more, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell, and you'll be alerted every week when I post a new video. So that's all for this week's video. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one.